Welcome to Day 10 of Labrynth, the Lord Stanley. I'm still growing a playoff beard that's barely noticeable, and there were 3 games on tap this evening. There was Thomas Vokoun's first start, and 2 NHL teams facing elimination. How did everything play out tonight? Let's pick things up in the first period at Consol Energy Center. First period, Pens on the power play. Sidney Crosby looks like he's about to score. Evgeny Nabokov with a glove save on the Penguins' power play. Later in the first period, Kyle Okposo. He shows a lot of agility. Vokoun makes the save with his pad, getting the puck between his legs. New York outshot the Penguins 14-7 in the first period. Both Nabokov and Vokoun stepped up with goaltending in the first period. Both PK units looked outstanding after that first period, and Vokoun was playing a lot better than I expected heading into this game. I thought Vokoun was going to blow it. He was going to have a bad game. The Penguins were going to have to score a lot of goals to bail him out. And one thing Pittsburgh had to adjust to in the second period was shots on goal, because they were getting outshot. That's exactly what the Penguins did. They went back to the locker room. Dan Bilesma and the team made the necessary adjustments, and when the second period started, this looked like a completely different Penguins team. Tyler Kennedy, he gets the go-ahead goal, putting the Penguins up 1-0. 1 minute, 22 seconds later, Douglas Murray scores, putting the Penguins up 2-0. Sidney Crosby on a snapshot, 3-0. Penguins in the second period. Both teams now even with 25 shots on goal. Great job by the Penguins making the necessary adjustments. And Vokoun, he displays that ability to make saves. He maintains that momentum, and he gives the Penguins a lot of enthusiasm and momentum in Game 5 at home. Third period, Chris Letang scores. He puts the Penguins up 4-0. Letang's ability as a defender, he picked up his play as a defenseman later in the game. Sure, he looked sluggish in the first period. I'll admit that. When the Islanders had 14 shots on goal, Chris Letang looked sluggish in the first period. But as the game progressed, Letang improved. He kept the Islanders from getting shots on goal. And when he was on the ice, it was pretty difficult for New York to execute their shots. So you have to credit Chris Letang and Thomas Vokoun and just the whole way that Penguins played in the second period with Tyler Kennedy, Douglas Murray, Crosby, all 3 of them tapping, lighting up the scoreboard, getting the necessary goals. So it was a big Game 5 win for the Penguins, and on Saturday, Pittsburgh has a chance to close out this series. The second game featured the Ottawa Senators and the Montreal Canadiens. Zach Smith scores on a backhanded goal, and that put Ottawa up 2-0. Corey Konachar scores on a wrist shot. That put Ottawa up 2-0 after Zach Smith scored the initial goal. PK Subban scored on a power play goal against a strong Senators PK unit. That cut the Senators' lead to 1. Montreal outshot the Senators 17-10 in the first period. Great job by Craig Anderson making saves, limiting the amount of goals Montreal scored. Second period, Montreal on the power play. Kyle Turris with a shorthanded goal. That puts Ottawa up 3-1. Ottawa scores 3 goals in the third period, and the Senators win 6-1. And Ottawa was going to win this game. Did they really have to rub it in the third period? That's going to demoralize the Montreal Canadiens for years to come. And when these two teams meet next season, Montreal is going to be looking for revenge. I mean, that was just cold the way Ottawa unleashed goals in the third period of that series. I'm not blaming them. I mean, they were on the road. You want to light up the score. Maybe this is a wake-up call or an early warning for the Pittsburgh Penguins if they beat the Islanders on Saturday. That the Senators are here, they're ready, they got a strong penalty-killing unit, they got Craig Anderson, and they're ready to kick some ass. Because the Penguins, they kind of got lucky. I mean, Penguins were expected to win this series. My problem is that they didn't sweep this series like most anticipated. The Islanders, they won a couple of games. They've been hanging around. They hung around longer than you expected. Game 3 went to overtime. So this could easily be a 3-2 series in favor of the Islanders. But the Penguins showed up in Game 1. They showed up in Game 5. They got the W in Game 3. That's what matters, that W, that overtime win on the road in New York where Chris Kunitz scored the game-winning goal. That's the difference. And at the end of the day, it's not the players. It's the front of the jersey. It's the W. That's what counts. And that's what the Penguins managed to accomplish. And Ottawa, they're going to be in the Eastern Conference semifinals, likely to face Pittsburgh, barring an unlikely New York Islanders comeback. The final game featured the Minnesota Wild and the Chicago Blackhawks. First period, Jonathan Toews passes the puck to Marian Hossa. That gave the Blackhawks a 1-0 lead. Second period, Marcus Kruger with a wraparound shot. Michael Frolik and Duncan Keith with the assists. Blackhawks go up by 2. Torrey Mitchell scores in the second period for the Wild. And on the fourth line, probably won't be enough considering that the Blackhawks led 3-0 in the second period. Then Andrew Shaw fired back. He gave the Blackhawks a 4-1 lead. Chicago wins 5-1. Minnesota had goaltender issues the whole series. Nicholas Backstrom was injured. He's their starting goalie. He's the goalie that plays on an all-star level. That forced backup Josh Harding to step in. He's a great backup that can be an effective starting goaltender at times. The problem with Harding is that he's not that goaltender on a consistent basis, and he played poor enough to make you wonder, maybe we should bring our backup goaltender and our starter on our AHL team, the Houston Aeros, into the starting lineup. And the Chicago Blackhawks, they wore down Minnesota's goaltending. The offense showed up. The penalty killing the defense showed up. Corey Crawford showed up. The Blackhawks sent a message to the rest of the Western Conference that we're the team to beat. They handled the Minnesota Wild pretty easily. I thought this series was going to be a sweep, but the Wild take Game 3 in overtime thanks to Jason Zucker, and you pretty much have to applaud Zane B. Sports on TalkShoe for calling this series because he said the Wild were going to win Game 3. They did, and then the Blackhawks took the rest of the series in 5 games like he predicted. So, got to give props to Zane for calling that one. And Blackhawks, they're going to be in the Western Conference semifinals, likely to draw the San Jose Sharks unless the Detroit Red Wings win out on Friday and Sunday, like many expect them to. I think Game 7's either on Sunday or Monday, but the Red Wings have to win out against the Anaheim Ducks. Game 6 at Joe Louis Arena tomorrow night, most likely. This is Chris Ransom of DraftUtopia.com. You can check out our website, http://draftutopia.com. Thanks for listening. Good night.